Hello everyone. Hello. This is Captain Sopan. Welcome aboard the Starship in Normal Prize for our first episode of SimCity 3000. Now, this is one of those games that I played a lot as a kid. This was the first simulation type game I ever played, and also city building type game I ever played. So this one is very special to me. This is one of those games that I come back every once in a while to kind of just relive my childhood and relive how I was first learning how to play video games, and it's a lot of fun. And I think the biggest city I've ever made is maybe 150,000. Most of the time I get to 40, 50,000, and then that nostalgia period goes away and I start doing something else. Because as you guys probably know, I kind of switch back and forth between a bunch of different games based off my mood. And recently I've been really into management and tycoon type games. So that's why I've been making these type of series on the channel, because I've been saving that feeling to make a video on it. But anyways, before we actually get into the game, one more thing I need to say. This is modded. I've learned to mod SimCity 3000, and so it's going to be a little bit different than what we normally have. And the modding I've been doing has made things more expensive, balanced out the budget and stuff, balanced out the neighbor deals and everything to make it more realistic. Because when I used to play, you could have one neighbor deal, like a garbage neighbor deal, and it would generate so much income that you could just completely turn off your taxes and just have the city run off of the neighbor deal, which is a little bit unbalanced. And I've corrected that. So now, if you want to make a decent amount of money from neighbor deals, you'll have to do multiple neighbor deals instead of just one. So again, I'll get more into that when we get that far in the game. But yeah, let's go ahead and make a new game. Our city name is going to be Merlapatia. Sounds like a pretty cool name. I like it. And we're obviously going to be Captain Soban as the mayor name, and we're going to set the game difficulty to easy. The only differences between the difficulty is how much money you start. It doesn't adjust any of the how quickly a building's creates and how quickly time advances or stuff like that. This is just how much money you start with. And since I made stuff more expensive, we're going to go on easy difficulty to compensate for it. Normally when I play, I start with medium. We're going to start in 1900s. The earlier in the game you start, the less policies you have to activate to keep your citizens happy. So I always start at the easiest level or the earliest time, so we have plenty of time to build the city before people start saying, hey, you're producing too much pollution, or hey, you need to start conserving water, because then that's just a lot of policies you have to activate to keep people happy. And we're going to go on the largest size. This is 256 by 256, which is as large as the game is, and in SimCity 3000. There are people who have been trying to make a larger city size, especially since now we have computers that can, play these old games a lot better, so we can make larger cities. But that's still in the works. There's issues of the engine not working right whenever you make whenever you try to make a really custom large map. But anyways, that's what we're gonna do. Let's go ahead and get into the game. Boom. Just realize that's a little loud. There we go. That should be better. All right. So we need to figure out what kind of map we want our city to be on. Typically, I keep everything flat, but since I've modded some of the stuff in the game, I kind of want to have an ocean and a river, so I can kind of show that stuff off. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to have one ocean over here, and we're going to have a river going through the middle. Burr, 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 burr. I love the music in this game. That's one of the other things I get really nostalgic about too, is the music. The music is amazing. And let's adjust some mountains down. Water we'll adjust down a little bit, and we'll put a little bit more trees on. There we go. And so now we have this winding river that goes all the way over here to the ocean, which is nice. And it thins out coming up here. Nice, we have a delta going on. Yeah, we'll start off with this. This will be fine. Alright, so Merlopatia has been founded in 1900. Greetings, Mayor Captain Soban. Also, the sayings on the scroll by are amazing. I love them in this game. They're so funny. I think about them all the time. But anyways, first thing we need to do is let's zoom in a little bit. And where do we want our city to come from? I guess we could start right here. We'll have to kill a lot of trees though if we do this, which costs money. We could start like further up here, but let's see. Water we have over here, so we can start our water pumps over there. And we don't want to go right through the water pumps at the beginning. Yeah, let's start right here. So let's zoom in more. And let's get a connection going. It costs 2,500 to connect to our neighbor. Yep, let's go ahead and do that. Oh, and I do have sound effects off right now. Partially because how I play the game is I tend to set all of the buildings and whatnot to make historical, which means they will not update themselves as the game goes on, which allows it to allows your population to actually be where it's supposed to be, instead of having half your city being reproduced every time, and then your population and job stuff are all off because only half of the houses are full. So we tend to turn sound effects off for that reason, but we'll have them on for now. I'll just turn them off whenever I start doing that mode. Anyways, we have our connection. And also, as you can see, roads are more expensive. They're 25 per piece now instead of 10. So it is much more expensive to construct roads. They also require more maintenance to run. So we also have to keep that in mind too. So let's go about here. And let's see, for our first round of zones, let's go with 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm trying to plan for the future because I usually start with low zones and I'll upgrade them to medium and dense zone as the city gets bigger. Oh god! Super fast scroll rate. Bad problem by having fast computers on old games. So 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Let's bring you up. Bring you all the way over. And bring you up here. There we go. That's going to be our first area. And let's see how much maintenance the road already costs. 48. I have drastically increased this so it actually makes sense for how much maintenance we have to pay on roads. This would have been like 12 if it's still in the original game. And let's see, I want residents over there, so let's go about, say, there. And then we'll have commercial in the middle and industrial over here. I've also changed it to where industrial starts off being 70% of the demand and commercial is 10% of the demand. And as the city gets larger and larger, those adjustments or those demands will change to where the demand for commercial will go higher and the demand for industry will go lower. But it's still set to the point where you still have to get industry as the city grows. It won't just stagnate like it is in the original game. Or once your city gets to a certain point, all you have to do is just worry about commercial and just keep industry happy. Alrighty. And there's our residential. Here is our commercial. And our industrial is over here. There we go. Now we need a power plant to power this thing. So, in the very beginning of the game, we have two choices. We have a coal power plant and we have an oil power plant. Now, I have changed oil power plant, as you can see, to be much more expensive and provide a lot more power. Before it used to be, I think it was 6,000 for coal and 7,000 for oil, and now it's 8,500 for oil and 6,000 for coal. I believe that's what it is. I've also made it to where oil power plant produces a little bit less pollution than what it used to. It's still not like, it's not like very little, but it's a little bit less, but not as much as, it's not as much as coal, but more than gasoline, which will be unlocked later on in the game. but I've adjusted the power production of most of the power plants in the game. Also the pollution I have adjusted. Their longevity of how long they stay alive is adjusted to be a little bit more appropriate. So yeah, a lot of things we want to pick out. I usually like to go with oil because of the extra power it produces and the fact it produces less pollution. So let's go with an oil power plant. There we go. Let's see, did we get lucky on its longevity? No, we did not. It's only lasts 60 years. It can last like anywhere between like 60 and 85, depending on how lucky you get. Because there's a dice roll I found out that when you put down a power plant, it'll do a dice roll between a percentage of how much better or how much worse it can be off of the basic. And we didn't get too lucky. 60 years is a little bit low, but it will be fine. All right, so we got power. Next we need garbage, which for the time being, we'll just go ahead and make this entire area over here garbage. That will be just fine. And that should provide plenty of space for garbage production in the future. And right now, no one cares about landfill. No one cares about how pretty the city looks because there's no one here. So it doesn't matter like how polluted or how unhealthy we make this place. All right, and now the next thing we need is a source of water. And we got two choices at the very beginning. We got pumping station, which I have completely changed. I think it used to require like, I think $300. It now requires $2,000 and only produced $1,500 and now produces $7,500. And that's kind of because the pumping station is like the mid-tier of water production when it comes to this. Where water tower, I've also adjusted some. This is actually supposed to be $1,500. I don't know why it says $600 right now. I need to go into the game and adjust that. But made it to where it'd be a lot better for like small like farm town cities. The cost is good. I increased it to 500, but the capacity is supposed to be 1,500. Interesting. Okay. Just a mild adjustment I need to make. But we're going to go at pumping stations for the time being. And once we unlock desaltation plants, those ones, I believe, I made them to where they produce like 20,000 or something, like something very, very high, because they take a lot of space. And they have to be next to the ocean, so. But they can definitely keep a good sized city going for quite some time. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and like level this off, I think. There we go. Put one right in the middle. And let's go here. There. Now it's connected to the water because they have to be connected to the water in order to operate. They have to be next to the water and they have to be have a water thing inside the water, if that makes any sense. And yeah, they are 15 each now instead of 10 when it comes to that. Where is you? You are over there, so let's go there. So expanding your city is much more expensive now. Part of the reasons why I made things so expensive because I also adjusted the loan system. The loan system acts more like bonds now, where in the original game, the loan system would work like where you would take out a loan and I think it was like 20% interest and you had to pay it off in 10 years. I've adjusted it to where it takes 30 years to pay off, but you pay much less. So it acts more like you're taking out a bond instead of an actual loan. And which we can go ahead and go here. Roads cost 60 right now, okay. And you could take out as many loans as you want. I think I set the limit to like 20 million or something. It's just if you can afford paying every single loan, that's what's gonna get you. But right now we don't need it. We've used about half our budget already. Not bad. We got power, we got water. Oh, we need to get power to our water. That's the next thing we need. Let's go ahead and zoom out to make this a little bit easier on us. Boop, boop, boop. Burp, 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 burp. That'll work. Okay. So we got power, we got water, and we got garbage. We got all the basic necessities. So let's go ahead and start our city. And other things I have adjusted is the police and whatnot are now more expensive. So police and jails now cost a lot more resources. Fire stations are the same thing. Same thing with health and school. I've also adjusted the capacities and wages of the health and school to make it a little bit more realistic and a little bit more sense. Same thing with the library and everything. So we'll go through a lot more of that once I actually get to that point in the game. But for the time being, land value is low. Is Merlotopia a bargain or a slum? I'm gonna have problems pronouncing the name of my own place. That's probably gonna be a thing in this series. But anyways, let's go ahead and fast forward a little bit to get through this month, because nothing is gonna happen on the first month because there's nothing available. We do have a little bit garbage being produced, but that's because of the power plant, because the power plants do produce garbage. We have 127,000 ton capacity. We're at 1% right now, so definitely good. All right. So everything looks like it's working. We have a demand for residential, commercial, and industrial. And we have a connection so people can get here. We're using 50 megawatts of power because of the demand on the water. And water is using 720 because of the massive water demand on the oil power plant. All right. And now I'm going to go ahead and turn off sound effects. Because what I'm going to go through is I'm going to go through every single one of these and make them historical. So that once they are produced, they won't be reproduced. And we can get the exact amount of population in the city. Burp, 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 burp. I have also adjusted the game where you don't really have to do this that much, because I believe they had it set to where every 30 days it will do a check, and then they will start reproducing the zone, and it does that to, like, if the land value is changed, it might upgrade them to a bigger or better house that pays more taxes and requires more water, or it might downgrade it to like a lesser one that uses more power but less water. Because that's another adjustment I made. As the land value goes up, the water demand for the city goes higher and higher. I want to adjust it to where the power demand does it, but I haven't found that in the coding yet. Burp, 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 burp. Ice cream shop, nice. Artopolis, a powerhouse, but much of it wasted. Oh yeah. Once we get to 5,000 population, we can start putting water connections to our neighbors and power connections, so we can get some money that way. Because I've definitely adjusted that to make it a lot more realistic. Because I never really did power or water deals when I used to play this back as a kid, because the demand for it would just be so high. Like, they would demand like 6,000 water when your city is only using like 1,000, and just like, it's a little much. But yeah, I'm adjusted to where it should be about a third of what your city would demand at that level, which makes it a much more manageable, a third to a quarter. All of the clickings. There we go. And if you ever want to know if something is historical or not, you can hold down Alt, which is the demolition button, and if it shows red, that means that's marked as historical, because you can't destroy historical buildings. At least in this game you can't. Real life you probably can, you just get in trouble. And everything looks like it's marked. Alright, so now we're kind of just waiting for the month to go by so we can do so we can check to see how well our city's going. We probably won't expand next month because again things are just still trying to get built. Nothing else is being expanded, so it looks like we're good so far. I think it's just going to stay here for this month. Okay. Alright. So we have a little bit of income coming in now from our residentials. Nice. We have 138 population. We're still in the negatives because of the extra money we have to pay for roads because of my mod. Data, how are we doing? It looks like we're doing pretty good. This is all saved from my previous one. Nice. Cool. Let's do the checks. 75 on power. We're like 9 out of 1% of our power capacity, so we are doing perfectly fine there. Water, we're up to 785. And garbage, we're at 1%. Okay, everything is looking good. Let's let more time go by. We got some industry being built. Their demands still look like they're doing just fine. Fantastic. Yep, got more residential being expanded. Alright. Don't really have any commercial being expanded yet. How are we doing on that stuff? I have 138 residential, no commercial, no industrial, and no unemployment. Because most of the residential is going to the power plant right now. Which is nice. That's something I need to do too. I need to increase the amount of jobs that the power plants produce. So throughout this series, I might be making small adjustments to my mod as I continue to test it. And I don't know, modding things are really fun, especially like when you adjust some things, and like if you played a game for as long as I have, like I've been playing SimCity since I was like 5 years old, so on and off like 25 years, quite some time. So I know all the ins and outs of how everything works. Same thing with Homeworld, I've been playing Homeworld since I was like 5 years old as well, so I know like everything about that game, so modding it is not too difficult, just takes some time and a lot of testing. But for me, like when I play a game for a very long time, eventually I just get to the point where like, you know, this game would be better if it had this option, or this game might be better if this mechanic was adjusted like this. And so eventually when I figure out the mod, I make those adjustments and then end up liking the game more. Like I really love SimCity 3000 now with my mod because it makes it more difficult. And adjusts and changes some of the mechanics that I've always thought needed to be adjusted. Alright, it looks like we're doing good now. I have everything set. Yep. Everything is historical there. Same here. Oh, and I also made demolishing things more expensive too. They're $15 instead of $10 now. There you go. Get that baby built. And we look like we're doing good, so let's let the game go a little bit faster. Time for spring cleaning. Merlotopia can handle more garbage. Oh yes, they can. There is a lot of garbage that they can handle at the moment. And a purposely overexpanded garbage, so when we get to the point where we're going to have neighbor deals, we can use those to help expand the city. I love the music in this game. It is so relaxing. I actually listen to this soundtrack when on my way to work, if I'm feeling stressed or if I'm drawing. I just have the SimCity 3000 soundtrack running in the background. It's so good. Anything else? Nope, we're good over there. And we're good over here too. Fantastic. A lot of development going on. Do. I think I got all of the commercial. Yep, we're good there. And we have all but one here on industry. My God, where are you? Oh, it's right there. The factory parking lot. Do. From the desk of Wise Guy Sammy says, a person who likes cats can't be all bad. I hope that's true. I'm one of those types that like cats. I also like cat ladies too. I don't know if that's what he's talking about. Next month, we have 500 population now. Nice. Our demands primarily is residential. We need more people in the city. Industry, there's a slight demand in industry. Commercial has a negative demand because kind of expand a little bit too quickly, but it's also very beginning, so you kind of want to have a decent amount of commercial to produce the amount of jobs. We still have 0% unemployment, which means that there are more jobs than people filling those jobs, so we need to solve that. 3 pollution, perfectly fine. 4 crime, perfectly fine. 90 commercial, and I think that's 111 industry jobs. Actually, it's 0 industry jobs. Interesting. Why do we not have any industry? We should have industry. We have taxes on industry. Weird. They'll probably update later on. Like I said, my mods adjust some things and they may have broken a couple things, but it's all fine. And taxes, we are doing very good. We are making $91. This will be adjusted at the top of the month because this is just this isn't at 100% where it's supposed to be because this is like what we are projected at the end of the year, and this is how much we've already paid because this just updates properly at the end of the year when it's adjusted, I guess. I don't know what I'm trying to say. All I'm saying is don't really pay too much attention to this until the top of the year so you can get an accurate reading. And we have $31 coming in for next year. Nice. Looking good. Looking very good. And garbage is 1%, which is fine. Power's at 204, which again is perfectly fine. And water is 859. Everything is looking good. We have plenty of room for residential to expand. So let's continue letting the game go by. Commercial is pretty much completely developed, but we have a negative commercial demand right now, so we don't really want to expand on that. How much money is coming in from commercial? Yeah, 20 out of 41. Commercial is supposed to be about 10% of residential, so it's like really high compared to that one. End of year surplus prediction proves true. Mayor Captain Soban has landed. Basically, they're just saying that, hey, you're having a positive at the end of the year. Congratulations. Which is good. Hopefully we can keep that going as the series goes on. Series goes on, not as the series goes on. Do. Boo. Yeah, all of these going. Boo. Alright, are there any other ones I have to worry about at the moment? No. Cool. So let's go ahead and continue speeding up the game. That was fast. I was like, there's not gonna be a whole lot of development going on, so I took a drink of my tea and instantly everything showed up. I was like, oh yeah, of course, that's how it always works. Alright, we have 2 more in here that have been updating. Actually, they're all going good now. Okay. Let me see if I can find them. There's one. There's another. And then all the new ones here that just popped up. No! Hit the wrong button. I deleted that one. Okay, well, we have 2 now that need to be popped up. Boop, 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 boop. They will re-pop up here in a moment, hopefully. If not, it'll be fine. There we go, there goes 1. Actually, I think it's 2. Now we have 1 more left. Boop, 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 boop. Alright, and then pop up this time. But now we have 897 population. Our demands are about even. Residential and industrial are about even where they're supposed to be. We have a commercial demand again, which is nice. We still have 0% unemployment. We have industry finally updated. We have 285 industry and 198 commercial. Commercial is supposed to be 10% of residential, and industry is supposed to be about 70% of residential. So we have a pretty good industry demand we have to worry about. Indeed. And budget-wise, we're making $127 minus 60 on our roads, giving us 67 positive dollars. Looking good. We are looking very good. And now we need to expand. We need to expand residential and industry. So for industry, we will put them, I think, right here. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go with 5. Yeah, we'll go with 5 there. Oh, that's 4. I forgot about the road. There we go. So that would be industry, and residential we need to expand as well, which will probably go this way. Let's go 2, 3, 4. Let's go 5 as well. Oops, too far. There we go, and we can delete some of those. $300 worth of development for residential, $250 for industry. Okay. So we may need another residential development area after this one. Let's go ahead and make sure everything has water, which looks like they do. Water connections are still good. So that's about it. Now this first month, only the very beginning areas are going to be seen, because this entire, well, this one might actually develop pretty quickly because it was originally power lines. So there's a lot of power in this area already. But this isn't going to have full power until next month. In the meantime, let's see, 256 for our generator. Yep. And 881 for our water. Not bad. Okay, let's go ahead and continue. Continue expanding our area. We'll add parks and stuff into the game later on, when the city gets more developed, because right now there's no demand or anything for parks. I have also adjusted parks to help with air pollution and water pollution, depending on what you build. So if you build small parks and like the other ones that have a lot of trees in them, it'll help reduce air pollution. If you do like water parks like the pond and fountain, they will help reduce water pollution. So that is something you can do to help the demand on large cities when it comes to pollution problems. Boop, 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 boop. But they are very, very small when it comes to the amount that they reduce. Like once we start designing the permanent industrial area, I might just surround them with parks to help with air pollution. Because I have also increased the amount of air pollution that dirty industrial produces. Mm-hmm. Do 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 do. Burn 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 burn. Burn 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 burn. All right. All right, so far so good. Let's get through this month. Oh, and there's also a code in this to where you can have more of the these guys like animate. I think it's like set to 60% of what the ones can animate to help reduce the load on the computer. So that's an interesting find. It's so cool exploring the coding of these old games and seeing like what all they had to think about in order to handle the computers back in the day. I had to think about a lot of stuff. Like in Homeworld, there's a lot of like little limits they have set on so that the old computers can handle them. Where nowadays it's like you can take those limits off because the limitation now is the engine. It's not the actual computers. The limitation of what the engine can handle based on what you throw on it. Throw at it. Don't throw things on an engine. That's not going to help it run that well. All right, cool. We have 1,200 population now. We're doing pretty good. The city is growing. We how is our jobs and whatnot doing? We have 1% unemployment now. That is perfectly fine. I try to keep my unemployment between 3 to 5%, because the higher the unemployment is, the more crime that is committed in the game. And if you keep unemployment high for a long period, that crime will keep going up and up and up. So yeah, don't want to keep that like super high. But we have 216 commercial and 380 industrial. Not bad. Not bad at all. And total life expectancy is 59, 57. I'm still trying to find a way to actually reduce this down to 30. That would be hilarious. Like, we had a city that was just so freaking polluted that people only lived to be like 30 years old. You might have a problem. Just saying out loud. And I think it's like 68% of the population is currently the workforce. This is an important metric because this also will tell you your unemployment and stuff. And the demand for industry and commercial adjusts based off of this as well. So you do have to keep an eye on the population. It's also like if you went down to 30, you would have like everything residential, nothing commercial, industrial. And right now everything is coming from oil power. Hooray. All right. We have pollution level of 4 because our industry is expanding. Okay, budget-wise, how are we doing? We were making $167. Our road expenses now are $84 because we've done some zone expansions. And we're making $83, so our budget is still double of our expenses, which is fantastic. It is great to hear. And for our taxes, we're going to keep it at 7% for now. We may adjust that in the future, but keeping your taxes high, like 6 or 7%, is perfectly fine from the mod. I may adjust the severity of how the residentials like taxes or not, because I know once you go above 9, people start hating the taxes and reduces demand dramatically. And I have found the coding that allows it to adjust the demand based off of, or the demand of residential based off of the tax rate. So that'd be fun to play around with. We may do something like that in the series later on. But anyways, we are still doing pretty good. Demands are still industry and residential. We still have a slight commercial demand, but it's not really high enough to really worry about. So we're going to, continue. Let's check our our stuff. I like to do this every single month. 317 on power, even though we're nowhere near capacity. I still like seeing the adjustments every month. 913, we're almost up to 1,000 on water. It's pretty cool. Alright, now we can continue because this is still 1%. Do-do-do-do-do. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. Get more industry being made. Fantabulous. Sims want to know, where are the police? We can't afford police this early, man. They're like, I think they're 360 a year. We don't even make that much in taxes, or at the moment. Up in smoke, lack of fire coverage, that's perfectly fine. All of these triggers start coming in at 1,000 population. So they want police and they want fire. But there's nothing we can do that for a while. Usually I start in education. Actually, no, I start healthcare, and then education, and then I do police and fire. Fire is like the last one I ever do, because all fire does is just make people happy. There's no like events or anything that will happen. At least, yeah, I have them off. There's no events or anything that will happen if someone like breaks out in a fire. Or in SimCity 4000, that's built into the engine. So if something doesn't have fire protection, it might eventually catch on fire, and you have to either build a fire station to protect it or send a fire truck out to take care of it. And 3,000, that doesn't happen. People just complain and reduces their happiness, which reduces their land value and just reduces the chance that there might be a better, higher quality house that produces more taxes. Boop 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 boop. Boop, boop. Burp, 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 burp. Alright, everything is good there. Industry, how are we doing over here? We are doing pretty fine. Ooh, oh god. Slow down there, Jeffro. There are more that must be historical. We must make everything historical. Alright, is that everything? Looks like it. Cool. And you're good to go, right? Nope, there's a couple up here I missed. There we go. Now let's let the game go a little bit faster. By the way, if you ever play this on a modern computer, I'm actually playing this on a virtual machine right now because this game doesn't work on my main computer. Never go past 2 on speed unless you want a couple of years to just instantly fly by. Because if you put this at full speed, which is African Swallow, it will use your entire CPU to run the game at maximum speed. And if you have a fast computer, like, I mean, most people have a fast computer compared to the ones that were designed to play this back in the day, a year will literally fly by in like 5 seconds. So never play this above speed 2. Speed 3 is not too bad, because it's like, it'll make 2 days go by, then 1 day go by, 2 days go by, then 1 day go by. The initial start might skip like 20 days, but never go full speed. Because years will go by and your city might go bankrupt because it's like everything just happened all at once. Burr, 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 burr. Like right there. I went to second speed and now 5 days went by, so we're 3 days into the next month. Hang up and drive, says citizens against cell phones. I thought that said hang up and drive, star citizens against cell phones. I was like, Did SimCity predict Star Citizen way back in the day? Who knows? Anyways, we are month 7 now. We have 1,600 population, still growing at a decent speed. We went up by about 400. How are we doing on our data? We have 5 unemployed because we have a high industrial demand now that we need to take care of. I think we have about 500 industry, 200 commercial, and 1,600 residential. Yeah, we have a lot of industry we need to make. Crime is up to 10. That's because the city is growing. And eventually this will level off like around 20 or something. Not bad. How are we doing on the budget? We're making 113 from residential. Not bad. 20 on commercial, 69 nice on industry. And we have 84 to pay on roads. So we are, budget-wise, we're doing good. We are doing very good. So residential is mainly developed over here. We have a few more buildings that need to be constructed. Industry still has a while to develop over here, and we have a job demand right now. So we're just gonna let this month go by and let industry develop to get a few more buildings going. We're 383 on power. Not bad. Garbage is still 1%, which is fantastic. And water is 984. Water is about to break 1,000. Again, most of that is going to the power plant. I think 750 of that's going to the power plant, so we're still using very, very little water. But we would be almost at capacity of our first water pump if I didn't have the mod in, because the original ones only had a capacity of 1,500. Okay. So yeah, let's just go ahead and keep continuing. I don't think there's really anything. Yeah, all that stuff is marked. And we have one area over here that needs to be marked. So let's go ahead and speed it up a little bit. And this should get us close to 2,000. If all that gets developed, which it looks like it is. Alright. Cool. Looking good. Looking good in the neighborhood. Doodip. Doodip. Alrighty. This is now the next month. Fantastic. 1,700, so we went up about 100. Again, we didn't expand residential, so that makes perfect sense. But now we have primarily a residential demand. Commercial is still about the same. In industry, we still have a demand, but it's lower than it was, which is great. We have an unemployment rating of 10. Weird. We focused on building up our jobs, yet now we have a higher unemployment rate. Very interesting. But we have a crime level of 11. We have 684 industry, 216 commercial. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. We could focus primarily on expanding residential now. Still don't really need commercial yet. And industry is technically still expanding. Okay, yeah, let's just expand residential this time. Boo, 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 boo. We'll go here. Could go about the same size and do like this. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Do, 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 do. Still don't need to expand water. Fantastic. Okay, and that's all we need to do. We're still doing good on money. We're at $22,000. And we only need to focus on this one. Do 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 do. Brr, brr. Give me all of these. I want them all. Wait, we good? We are good. Okay. Oh my. More expansion. Next month we may have to grab more industry. This is actually expanding a little bit more than I was expecting. But I always forget that those power lines have a couple of they have like a couple blocks that they put their power out to. Okay. Those guys are moving furniture. Indeed. Okay. That should be good, I believe. We'll see what this puts our population up to. This, if most of this develops, this might put us above 2,000. That would be nice. Having 2,000 pop would be nice. Boop, 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 boop. Yay, 2,070. Awesome. And now we have a primarily an industry demand. We have a slight residential and a slight commercial demand. So next we need to expand industry as well. Cool. How are we doing data-wise? 912 industry, 216 commercial, and 2,000 residential. Yeah, the next expansion we need to get more commercial, and our unemployment updated finally. So it's at 3% unemployment now, which is about where we want it to be. So everything is looking really good. 13 crime, that's fine. And starting to get a little bit of traffic, but not too bad. Not too bad at all. And education and health and everything, we're not going to worry about that. Again, we have to wait until we get an actual budget before we can start affording that stuff. And speaking of that, we're making $241. We made 121 so far. So looking pretty good. We have 68 currently projected at the end of the year. Estimated is 152. So we are looking good. Cool. How much? 89 for roads. So that's probably going to be close to 100 next month. I love the fact that roads are more expensive. Because back when I used to play this game, you would have like 2,000 for education, 2,000 for health, like 1,000 for police and fire, and then like 100 for roads. It's like, okay, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So I made roads, maintenance for roads a lot higher. So now it's more inclined to where like education and health would be. It's not like at the same level, but it's much closer. Because like having $100 for maintenance for roads for the city like this size feels a lot better, and then it would be like 24 or something if I didn't have that adjustment. But anyways, guys, let's do our final checks before we end this episode. What's our power at? 492. A little bit over 5%. Not bad. Not bad. And water broke 1,000. So we're at 1,007 on water use. Nice. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and end this episode here. Hope you guys enjoy this. Basically, this is how the series is going to be. We're just going to slowly grow the city and then figure out how we need to adjust the budget to get the city getting larger. My goal, hopefully by the end of the series, is to also apologize if I keep triggering your guys' phone. I don't mean to keep saying Siri instead of series. That's a complete accident. I have dumb brains sometimes. Where hopefully we can get this city to about 1 million population. I would be very, very happy if we can get that large. And if we can keep getting it larger than that, that would be fantastic. Like I said, the largest city I ever made when I used to play this game as a kid was about 150,000. And that was primarily because I just built nothing but high density stuff, and it grew very quickly when you do that. So yeah, I'm excited for this. I hope you guys are excited for it too. And hopefully this would be like a chill series as well. There's not going to be any like panic or anything in this series. It's just going to be a relaxing city building series. So hope you guys enjoy it. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please leave a like. If you like what I do, consider subscribing. If you want to see more of me, I do have my main channel in the video description, which is just called Captain Soban, where I play space and strategy games. Completely different than this, and the vibe from are different as well, which is why I have this on a separate channel. Anyways, until next time, guys, this is Captain Soban signing out.